So, good day everyone. I am Jocelyn Villota and I am your teacher for today. I am here with my student.
I'm Sai Parillo Sistoso, 18, a BPED first year student.
And I'm Lizanda Dalida Gubalani, a BPED's first year student.
I'm Precious Jean Lunesa and a first year student.
So, for today's video, we will talk about the social system model. So, are you ready to take my lesson now?
Yes, we are.
So, that sounds good. So, welcome to the lesson 1 in module 2. This lesson introduces you about the basic social system, concept that assumption. And the social system model, it provides reading and activities that will broaden your concept and understanding about the topic. As the expected of the end of the day, you will be able to describe the social system model with your own understanding. So, shall we start now? So, social system model, it is an organization that possesses creativity beyond and its component part. It is distinguished from its environment by clearly defined boundary. It is composed of the subunits, elements, and subsystems that are interrelated with relatively stable patterns of social order. This social system model is stated by Olsen 1970 and Timado 2014. And as a social system, the school aims to prepare students to occupy social rules according to their capabilities after leaving the school. So this social system model has 11 systems. So the first is social system or open system. The second one is social system consists of independent parts, characteristic activities that contributes and receive the whole. The third one is the social are people. The fourth one is social system goal is oriented. The fifth one is social system are structural. The sixth one is social system are normative. 7 is social system are sanction bearing. Number 8, social system are political. Number 9, social system have distinctive culture. Number 10 is social system conceptual and relative. And last one is all format organization are social system. So, for you, Mr. Cyrix Sistoso, what is social system model?
Well, a social system refers to events and dealings of the members of a particular group or groups composed for a mutual determination. Usually, in a social system model, there is an interaction and communication among every member in organizing and improving the social interaction.
Then, Ms. Gubalani, what is the example of social system model?
So the example of social system model is the social system are open system, and social system consists of interdependent parts, characteristic and activities that contribute to and receive from the whole. Social system are people, social system are goal-oriented, social system are structural, social system are normative, social system are sanction-bearing, social system are political, social system have distinctive cultures, social system conceptual and relative, and also all formal organization are social system.
And also, on social system, we should have a structural system that's similar to those formal organization, cultural system that's similar to the emergence of informal organization, and political system that emerges from the interaction of the authority, power within organization. And lastly, the individual system that interprets the rules according to the behavior, such as teachers, learners, administration, and student. And now, we will get the response of Miss Precious.
Community as a social system means that members of the same community are functionally related with each other. This means they have their own role to play and they love doing their work. All the parts are linked with each other and they make an integrated whole. Community as a system has three subsystems.
So, thank you, Miss Precious. So, that would be all for the social system model. So, let's proceed to the next topic.
Hi everyone, welcome to lesson 2. I'm Sarik Padilla Stoso as your teacher with my students.
Jocelyn Villota, BPED 1 student.
And Lisandra Dalida Gubalani, BPED 1 student.
And Precious Vanessa Bitfed 1 student.
This lesson is all about the key elements of school as a social system, which is the continuation of the previous lesson. I assume that you already understood the basic concepts and assumptions of social system. So let's proceed to the lesson 2, which is the key elements of school as a social system, which is the continuation of the previous lesson. I assume that you already understood the basic concepts and assumptions of social system, and also the social system model. In this lesson, you are going to identify some key elements of school as a social system. According to the social system model for schools, organizational performance is determined by key internal elements such as structure, the individual culture, politics, technical core, environment, outcomes, and feedback. Key elements of social as a social system. A. The structure. Roles are expectations of positions that are arranged in a hierarchy. So here are some the internal elements of the system. The structure. Roles are expectations of positions that are arranged in hierarchy. Bureaucratic roles defined by sets of expectations, which are combined into positions and office in the organization. In schools, the position of principal, teacher, and student are critical ones, and each is defined in terms of set of expectations. In short, formal organizations such as schools have structures composed of bureaucratic expectations and roles, hierarchy of office and positions, roles and regulations, and specializations. Next one is individual, a key unit in any social systems. Regardless of position, people bring with them individuals' needs, belief, and a cognitive understanding of the job. Cognition is the individual's use of mental representations to understand the job in terms of perception, knowledge, and expected behavior. Next one is the culture. Culture represents the unwritten feeling of the organization and shared values. There is a dynamic relationship between bureaucratic role demands and individual work needs as people brought together. In the workplace, organizations develop their own distinctive cultures. Cultures provide members with a commitment to belief and values beyond themselves. And when culture is strong, so is their identification with a group and the influence of the group and the group. Next one is the politics. Informal power relations that develop spontaneously. Political dimension spawns the informal power relations that emerge, often to resist other systems of legitimate control. It is legitimate because it is It is behavior usually designed to benefit the individual or group at the knowledge or behavior. Next one is the environment. Everything outside the organization, but unlike physical system, social system are open, hence the boundaries as much ambiguous and the environment more intrusive. Environment is critical to the organizational functioning of schools. It is the system's source of energy. It provides resources, values, technology, demands, and history. Next one is the outcomes. The products of the organization, that is, educated students' performance outcomes, are indicators of goal accomplishment. It includes indicators such as achievement, job satisfaction, absenteeism, and overall performance quality. The model assumes that the effective achievement of these behavioral outcomes is a function of the degree of congruence among the system elements. Last is the feedback loops, or internal and external. Communication that monitors behavior. Feedback informs individuals how bureaucratic structure and the informal organization view their behavior. Although bureaucracy has formal mechanisms and the work group of informal ones, both have internal and external loops. The formal school organization provides an official definition of the position, its rank in the hierarchy, and a set of expected behaviors that go with it. In fact, the bureaucratic has an established incentive pattern for ensuring appropriate behavior. Behavior in schools also is monitored through external feedback loops. Bureaucratic expectations, group norms, and organizational goals that indirectly influence individuals' needs. In spite of attempts by a school to isolate itself, it remains open to community, state, and national forces. The social systems model gives a dynamic view of school with the feedback mechanisms and elements providing the action components. Good, bad, and neutral events occur constantly, and the dynamic nature of the system becomes even more evident when we consider the ways that students, teachers, administration affects one's another behavior. So, Jocelyn Villota, what is your idea of the key elements of school as a social system?
So, the key elements of school as a social system must have structure that rules our expectation of position that arrange in hierarchy. Second, must have individual, that is, have unit in any social system. Regardless of position, people bring with them individual needs, belief, and cognitive understanding of the job. And cultural, that represent the unwritten feeling, part of the organization, and its shared values. That will be all.
Lisandra Gobalani, what is your example about the key elements of school as a social system?
So that the example of key elements of school as a social system are the structure, individual, culture, politics, technical core, teaching and learning, environment, outcomes, feedback loops, internal and external.
So, Ms. Precious, as a participant of the community, what is your response of the key of the school as a social system?
The response of community in school as a social system consists of the connection between schools and individuals, business and formal and informal organization and institution that can leverage community resources and assist students in achieving positive outcomes.
So, thank you for your answer, and that concludes the lesson 2. So let's proceed to the lesson 3.
Hi everyone, I'm Lizandra Dalida Gubalani as your teacher for today, and my students.
Jocelyn Villota, BPED 1 student.
Cyrix Istoso, BPID 1 student.
Precious Donesa, a BPED 1 student.
So before we start, let me discuss first the defining school as a community. Every school should be a central to its local community. Administrators and experts must understand that their school has become community within a community. Each member of school will be a member of their local community, reflecting beliefs and values carried through the action, behavior, and the attitudes of the learner. Teaching and non-teaching, staff, parents, and leaders in the community. Community can be defined multi-dimensional within the location, where the influence of the environment in the system control is their structure, where the administrative elements and guidance that determine equality, provision, and process, where management of people and the development of a shared understanding of beliefs and values. All members of schools, together with those with special educational needs as participants in the school and local community, should be encouraged to have shared commitment to the information of the school community. Individual must relate to each other. High involvement in understanding of the goals and objectives to be achieved in effective school. The purpose of this reflected, since the school mirrors the local community and share individual their beliefs and values, also the other purpose in individual, as all members will have their own identity with their personal goals and objectives. Lastly, collective. A shared understanding of common beliefs and values will create a sense of community bound together by recognizable identity and geographical location. So, the three possible patterns of connection between the school and the community as described in the educational literature. The closed door pattern, the open door pattern, the balanced pattern. These are the school and the community. Let me discuss first the closed door pattern. The closed door pattern, knowing that the school is responsible for educational development, social problems of a child and its community involvement. It is necessary that the school needs feedback from the community. In the absence of constant input from the parents and the community, the school will be unaware of changes occurring in the system and hence will be unable to adapt itself and its curriculum to these changes and will keep deteriorating. Second is the open door pattern. So what is the open door pattern? The open door pattern, the school and the parents function as open systems so that the information moves freely in both directions. The school with an open door policy creates the parents' partners to their child educational process and attempts to become an influential factor in the life of the community. A basic assumption of system. Theory is that the open system is considered to process the inputs of its external environment only to return the processed product to the environment for its use and benefit. In their adult life, they will produce a new generation of pupils whose contribution to their children's education is anticipated to too big and greater than that of their parents' generation. So the third one is the balance pattern. So what is the balance pattern? The school and the parents set the degree of closeness or distance between them in order to achieve their educational and social goals to optimal extent. When the distance is large, the school has to bridge the gap and reach of the community. When the distance is small, the school has had to close in gates somewhat. So, okay, Jocelyn Villota, what is your thoughts about the school as a community?
So, the school about the community must have partnership between the school and other community resources. And using the public schools, community schools bring together many partnership and other range of support and opportunities to children, youth, families, and communities. And also, the school must have integrated focus on academic, health, and social service, youth and community development, and community engagement. Lastly, the school are at the center of the community, and it is open to everyone all day, every day, and all the time. And the student must improve the learning, stranger, families, and healthier communities. That would be all.
So, Cyrus Sisto, so give me the 3 example of the school and the community.
The 3 examples of the school and the community is the closed door pattern, the open door pattern, and the balance pattern.
Precious Danessa, as a community response, what can you share about the school as community?
School as a community understand through which the school and the community link with each other for the achievement of goals of the community and school too. School is a social organization functions properly on the effective interrelationship within it and with its associate communities. Hi, I'm Precious Jean Donesa, your teacher for today, and our lesson is about is school as a learning community, and this is my students for today.
So, I am Jocelyn Villota, BPED 1 student.
And I'm Lizandra Dalida Gubalani, BPED 1 student.
I'm Sai Padilla Sistoso, ABP 1 student.
This lesson is lesson 4, school as a learning community. A school as a learning community is one of in which all members acquire new ideas and accept responsibility for making the institution work. All the workers in school must feel free that their insights are valued and taken into account in community life. School as a learning communities. The school must reflect the inherent characteristic of a community. The goal of a school is student learning when people come together to work toward a common goal. A community is formed. Essential elements for a learning community by Hyatt Michael. Number 1. A servant leader who performs as a guide and nurturer. Encourage and nurtures all members of the community to perform the ultimate capacity and the support the learning and uniqueness of each member, rather than saving compliment for his or her efforts. Number 2. A shared moral purpose. It appeals to the common good of the learning community and a sense of trust and among of members. The educational leader must understand the qualities and lives of every member in the community and it is purpose. Member lives and work centered on the accomplishment of moral purpose. In its also, in so doing, but trust and mutual respect, an open environment for collaborative decision making. It represents challenge to any leader who wants to move forward the concept of a learning community. Learning community have four characteristics, which is access, relationships, vision, and function. And let's move on to what is community practice. According to Ethan Winger, the first person who coined the word community of practice, that is a group of people who share a passion for something that they know to do and who interact regularly to learn how to do it better. Characteristic of communities in practice. Number one, domain, which is community members have a shared domain of interest, competence, and commitment that distinguish them from others. Number two is community. Community members pursue the interest through joint activities, discussion, problem solving, opportunities, information sharing, and relationship building. The strong community foster interaction, encourage a willingness to share ideas. Practice. Community members are actual practitioners in this domain of interest and build a shared repertoire of resources and ideas that they back to their practices. The School Learning Action Cells, or the SLAC, professional learning communities that the Department of Education, or DepEd, has implemented a policy on the Learning Action Cell as a professional development strategy for the teachers. In the DepEd, a Learning Action Cell is a group of teachers who engage in collaborative learning sessions, share challenges encountered in the school, facilitated by the school head or a designated LAC or leader. LACs will become the school-based communities of practice that are positive, caring, and more spaces. The Department of Education suggests that every teacher should properly guided, equipped with the know-how of the learning process through revisiting or reviewing some areas or concern and performing the duties and responsibilities of effective and efficient teachers. To sum up, this module highlights the following. A school is a social system, has its roles and function of an administration, while the system has a network, social interaction, and relationship for it to function. As a social system, the school is characterized by interdependence of parts, clearly defined population, differentiate from its environment, a complex network of a social relationship in its unique culture. All members of the school should be encouraged to have a shared commitment to the creation of the school community. In a school as a learning community, Each individual is worthwhile practicing the tasks, activities, and responsibilities of the community. Teachers need to pursue professional development to develop the knowledge and skills in order to address students' learning challenges. Jocelyn Bellota, what is the four characteristics of learning community?
So the four characteristic of learning community is first, the access. This access is a common meeting place and transaction on distance, quality and quantity time. The second one is the relationship that state the sense of belonging, independence, trust, faith in purpose of community. The third one is the vision, that shared vision, goals, and mission. And the last one of the learning community function, which is shared practice, student in the same class, workers, and put on a team. That would be all.
Okay, Lisandra Gubalani, what are the characteristics of communities in practice?
The characteristics of communities and practice are the domain, community, and practice.
Okay, Cedric Sisto, so give me at least four model learning community by Hayat Michael.
The four model of learning community by Hayat Michael is the school mission, organizational expectations, organizational roles, and organizational structure resources. That will be all. Thank you.